1860, the California gold rush had already become a legend, but the real story was much harder, much more painful, and far more dangerous than the tales people told. This wasn't just a race to find gold, it was a tough and risky journey that changed America forever. Years before, gold had been found in North Carolina and Georgia. But those discoveries were small. California was different. When gold was found there, news spread around the world like fire. Thousands of people left their homes in Europe, Asia, South America, and across the US, all chasing a dream of becoming rich. They crossed huge oceans, deserts, and mountains. Many never made it. Others arrived only to find that most of the easy gold was already gone. A few lucky people did find gold. But most didn't. In fact, the people who made the most money weren't miners at all. They were shop owners, hotel keepers, and business people who sold tools, food, and clothes to the miners. This is the real story of the California gold rush, a story of hard work, danger, greed, and the dream of a better life. It's not the pretty picture we often hear. It's a story of those who risked everything and what happened next.
By 1860, the California gold rush had become part of history, but writers like Mark Twain, Bret Harte, and John Muir didn't want people to forget it. They wrote exciting stories about brave adventures and people finding lots of gold. But the real story was much harder and more dangerous. The gold rush wasn't a dream. It was a tough and often deadly chance people took. The first gold rush in America didn't happen in California. It started quietly in North Carolina in 1799. A young boy named Reed found a shiny yellow rock in a stream. He played with it, and later his family used it as a doorstop. For years, no one knew it was real gold. In 1828, Georgia had its own gold rush, but both of these were small compared to what was coming. In 1848, a man named James Marshall saw some shiny stones near his boss's sawmill in California. That small discovery caused a big reaction. News spread quickly. Thousands of people left their homes and rushed to California. They crossed dangerous oceans and rough land, hoping to find gold. There were many dangers. People were scared of attacks by Native Americans, but the real threats were diseases, hunger, and being too tired. Still, people kept coming. From Germany, China, Spain, France, Italy, Sweden, Russia, Peru, Australia, Tahiti, and Hawaii, people arrived. They all had different names for gold: Uro, Gol, Zlato, Kula, Wangjin. But they all wanted the same thing. California was different because the gold wasn't on private land. The US government said finders keepers. There was so much gold and no rules stopping people. That's why the gold rush grew so fast. By 1849, around 50,000 people were traveling west. The wagon trains were like moving towns. One man said he looked at the hills at night and saw campfires shining everywhere, like stars on the ground. Many people worried about being attacked, but the most dangerous place wasn't the gold fields. It was the Missouri River crossings. Thousands of people crowded into small towns. There was no clean water and no bathrooms. The places were dirty and full of sickness. For many, their gold rush dream ended before they even got to California.
The people who survived the tough journey to California were welcomed by rivers full of shiny gold. In the beginning, it was easy to find. You didn't need to dig deep, just a pan, some water, and a bit of luck. But that didn't last long. Within a few months, all the easy gold was gone. After that, it was hard work, painful and exhausting. The California gold rush wasn't a fun adventure, it was a dangerous gamble. Camps were full of sickness, injuries, and no rules. 1 out of every 5 people who came in 1849 died within 6 months. But by then, the gold rush had already become a legend, told by writers who had never faced the danger. Gold did come out of California, but who got rich? Not the miners. Only 5% made any money. Most people went home with nothing, tired, sad, and poor. The smart ones didn't dig for gold. They made money by helping the miners. They ran hotels, saloons, and sold tools and food at high prices. These people were the real winners. They mined the miners. San Francisco changed fast. In 1846, it was a quiet village with 200 people. By 1852, it had grown into a city with 36,000. The first millionaire wasn't a miner, it was Sam Brannan, a shop owner. Leland Stanford made lots of money selling supplies. He later helped build the railroad and started Stanford University. Levi Strauss didn't find gold in the ground. He made strong jeans that miners loved. Then came the tricksters. Some people created fake gold rushes to fool miners into going to empty places. Miners spent all their money on supplies only to find no gold. In San Francisco, criminals set fire to hotels. They knew miners would run out without grabbing their gold. While the fire was still burning, thieves searched through the ashes to steal it. But the worst enemy of many miners was themselves. They spent their gold on drinks, gambling, and in brothels. Whatever gold they found was quickly gone. Did they at least take all the gold from California? Not even close. Experts say more than 80% of the gold is still underground. The history books say the gold rush ended in 1860, but the feeling behind it, the dream of getting rich fast, never really disappeared. Even today, California still attracts people chasing success, money, or a little bit of glory. The gold may be gone, but the gold fever lives on.